Guess who got another lightsaber? But luckily for my wallet, this one was free. The lovely people over at SaberCustom sent me this lightsaber to review, so let's check it out. So here we have the hilt. This one is actually based on Luke's lightsaber from Return of the Jedi. And then it looks like the blade is inside here too, so we're gonna have to assemble that part. But so far the hilt looks pretty good. It's got nice weight to it too, which is nice, because I always like when the hilts actually feel a little bit heavier, not more light, like they're just kind of made out of plastic, but this one actually has some heft to it. And the material they use on here is pretty good too, because it's actually nice and reflective, like real metal would be, and it's pretty hefty, so it's not flimsy at all. But now comes the fun of putting it together. Luckily, they give you all the tools you'll need right here in the box. And it looks like right off the bat, they're telling you about the warranty here. So there's a 1-year warranty on here too, which is pretty nice. Now, I can only hope that I am smarter than the lightsaber here, but I suppose we'll find out. I think I just need to take these screws out here so that the blade can sit in there. At least I hope it's that simple. Otherwise, you guys are in for some entertaining comedy here with me trying to put it together. I hope if it's that simple, that's great, because normally most of my other lightsabers take much more assembly than that, but I think all I need to do is just tighten those screws then. Whoops. Then it looks like it comes with a charging cable here. So similar to some of like the Black Series lightsabers, it just recharges. It doesn't take batteries or anything, which is definitely a plus there. So let's get this bad boy plugged in and charged up. I wasn't expecting the lightsaber to talk to me. All right, so we got it charged up and I read through the instructions, and there's actually a lot of functionality to this saber here, but let's just turn it on and see how it looks right off the bat. Pretty good. So this is one of the many, what they call fonts. So you can have different fonts to your lightsaber here. So I'll show you kind of how it works. So basically, let's turn it off again here, and it's motion activated. So you can turn it off just by flicking your wrist here. So if I want to change my font, I can just turn it upside down and twist my wrist.
The Dark Lord Order.
So you can see they have different names for different like fonts. So let's see what this one is. I'm thinking it's going to be Palpatine. See, and you even got some strobing effect to it too. So each of them kind of have a different effect to it, depending on who it is.
The Princess.
The Princess. So I'm assuming that's going to be Leia, so it'll probably be blue. And it even has some of the sound effects of her saber, because some people have different sound effects depending on their lightsaber. So sometimes different sabers from different people will have different sound effects. So that's accurately portrayed with a bunch of these saber fonts that they have in the blade here. Let's see what other fonts they have too.
The Chosen.
The Chosen, I'm assuming that's probably going to be Anakin, so it'll be something blue. Looks kind of white, but kind of just like a lighter blue. So it's a lighter blue here, but I'm assuming it's supposed to be like Anakin, but it's got very similar, just standard lightsaber sound effects.
New Horizon.
New Horizon, let's see what that is. So that's going to be Rey, it looks like, because it has that similar sound effect of when she turns her blade on, and it's got that yellow to it. So I'm assuming this is Rey's. So there's a whole bunch of different ones that you can turn it into here.
The Dark Sword.
The Dark Sword, I'm assuming that's going to be the Darksaber. So it's got kind of a white to it, and it's got kind of that shimmer sound effect like the Darksaber does. So really cool sound effect on that one.
The Assassin.
The Assassin is probably going to be Ventress. Sounds about right. Looks like a really good red on here, and it has that nice Sith ignition sound effect on it too. So let's see some of the other effects we got here. So we got some blaster effects on there. So I'm doing that with this button that they have right here. So you hit that button and it'll have different blaster effects. And then you can also hold that button to turn it off. Otherwise, like I was doing earlier, you can always flick it to turn it on and off.
The Knight.
Now the Knight could be a Jedi or Kylo Ren. Yeah, so that's definitely Kylo Ren. You can hear that crackling to it, and it's got that red. So that's definitely Kylo Ren's.
The Protector.
I'm gonna guess that might be Obi-Wan? I'm assuming, yeah, Obi-Wan, or it could also be Anakin, I suppose, but I think that chosen one was Anakin. But it's got that classic blue and the very classic like lightsaber sound effects to it with that hum. So I'm assuming this is gonna be Obi-Wan's. So this one looks really good too, and I like when you have that blaster effect. It has a nice fade to white there. Better than some of the Black Series lightsabers, if I do say so myself. This one, it's kind of crazy what they can pack into this very thin hilt, because it's heavy and it's got heft to it, but it's also very light that I can twirl it pretty easily too. So it's kind of crazy what they can pack in this very thin hilt here compared to some of the other Black Series lightsabers that are real thick. There's actually a lot of other advanced controls that you can do with the motion aspect of the lightsaber, so I'm going to show you some of those as well. If you thrust the hilt forward in a stabbing motion, you can actually turn the lightsaber on. Like that. And then you can also turn it off by just going like this. There's also an effect called melt, where you can hold the button and stab the lightsaber for a melting effect. Like this. Pretty cool. The saber also has some pretty responsive collision effects. So I'm going to use the shipping box as our dueling opponent. So as you can see, it's pretty responsive with collision. And if you hold the button on the lightsaber before you hit something, it'll actually do what they call a lock-up function, where it'll be like two lightsabers are clashing together. I'm actually really impressed with a lot of the lighting and sound effects on this saber, because a lot of the other like lightsaber replicas that you could get on the market aren't as bright, or they might not be as well lit throughout the whole blade. Sometimes it's only different sections of the blade that will light up. And as far as the sound effects are concerned, it's actually really loud and very clear. You can hear it really well. It's a very good speaker that's in here, because a lot of the other lightsabers I collect, sometimes they're really quiet, they're not as loud. And I can actually show you a Black Series one in comparison with this one. It's just not as loud as some of the sound effects with this one are. So this here is the Black Series Ahsoka Tano lightsaber that recently came out, and I felt like this one specifically was pretty quiet in comparison to a lot of other sabers you can get on the market, and especially this one here. So you can hear that's the full volume of it. You can't change the volume, you can't turn it up or down or anything, so that's as loud as it gets. And this is right next to the speaker, right next to my microphone here, so that's all the louder it gets. And then here is the SaberCustom one. A lot louder. Obviously, you can tell right away how much louder it is, and I'm pretty sure it can go even louder than this. So the sound effects on this one are a little bit more impressive. And for a product that isn't officially licensed by Disney or anything at all, it's really impressive because the Black Series sabers they're made by Hasbro, but sometimes they don't pack as much as they could in the blade as some of these can, especially for how thin this one is compared to some of the other ones that are a lot thicker and a lot longer and bigger to hold. So it's kind of amazing how much they can pack into these ones here. It's also nice how you can change the volume of the saber as well as the brightness of the blade, the color of the blade, so you can kind of customize it however you want. You can have it be quieter, louder, brighter, darker, blue, red, green, yellow. You can change all the different things about it. So it's definitely a more customizable blade than some of the more official Disney sabers that are on the market. But I like that this one's more customizable, which it's perfect for a company that calls itself SaberCustom. This lightsaber is definitely customizable. It's also worth noting that there's an app that you can download that they tell you about in the instructions, where you can customize the lightsaber with all these things that I've been talking about way easier than just on the blade itself, because with the blade you need to do it with like motion controls and buttons, but when you open this app up, it's easy to just slide this little toggle here, change different stuff in the settings, so you can turn the lightsaber on and off with the app on here. But you can also change the color fonts. You can make your own custom fonts by recording other different sounds and uploading them to the lightsaber. So there's a lot of customizability, and it even tells you the battery life of the saber, so you know how much you need to charge it. You can change that volume and brightness there in the settings as well. So with that app, it makes it even more easy to customize this saber to exactly how you want it to be. So all in all, I would definitely recommend this lightsaber from SaberCustom. For the price, it's kind of amazing how much they can pack into this lightsaber here. I believe this one retails for about $200 compared to some of the other Black Series sabers that are $250, sometimes $300. It's amazing how much detail and customizability they can put into this lightsaber. I was lucky enough that they sent me this lightsaber here for free, but I'll be linking their website in the description of this video so that you guys can check it out for yourself. Normally I would only ever collect the Black Series lightsabers from Hasbro, but seeing how much they're able to put into this lightsaber and keep it cheaper, it's definitely swaying me more towards companies like SaberCustom. So if you enjoyed this review, don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching.